Hello and welcome back to Podium Pop. My name is Celine and I'm here with my co-host Gracie. We have a very fun episode for you today. We are going to be doing a combined episode of the Indycar recap at Midohio as well as the Formula One recap from Silverstone. We were at Midohio this weekend, so it is coming a day late, but we are going to go over both of the races and give you all of the drama that goes along with it. Before we get started, make sure you go follow us on social media. We posted a lot of fun content from our weekend at Midohio, and we will continue to post fun content on other races we go to in the future. We also post podcast clips on our TikTok and our Instagram, along with posting our actual podcast episodes on Spotify and on YouTube. So make sure you go follow us on everything, and let's go ahead and pop the bottle and get right on into it.
Let's pop that bottle.
What are we talking about first, Midohio?
Let's talk about Midohio.
We had so much fun.
So much fun. And if you've been here since last year, you know, like, this is our race.
This is the big kahuna for us.
These are our...
The big kahuna.
These are our stomping grounds.
Yeah, this is our home away from home. It feels...
Pulling in there felt like home.
It feels like we belong there.
And we do.
And we do.
Yeah, we absolutely do. I love it a lot because it's just definitely like... Mid-Ohio, they have IndyCar here, you know, big deal for them, but they're like, we're keeping it how we keep it.
Right. They're not trying to be someone that they aren't.
No, they're not, and I love it. And they shouldn't because, hey, it's in the middle of a cornfield.
It quite literally is in the middle of nowhere. And it's truly like if you went to a race at Mid-Ohio, 10 years ago, obviously there's probably a little bit more, like, there's a lot more fans, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
More sponsors, probably more, like, pop-ups. But at the root of it, it's still the same place. They don't have, all of these new crazy things. I don't know.
Bathrooms.
Outdoor plumbing.
They have one set of bathrooms inside the paddock. And if you don't have paddock passes, you're using a porta potty.
You're potting it. Yeah.
But like also like we go to F1 races and it's like that. So
yeah, but it feels like a very authentic race. We went to many different IndyCar races. At this point, we've been to many different IndyCar, IMSA, and F1 races. Yeah. And it feels so authentic and feels like the people that are there, not only attending the race, but the people that are there putting on the race and the race car drivers and the teams all know that Mid-Ohio truly is for the fans, and it's truly for the racing. And
for sure.
You can just feel that in the atmosphere there. We can't talk more highly about Mid-Ohio. It was our favorite IndyCar race last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a feeling it'll be our favorite IndyCar race this year. I don't know. Maybe Nashville has something up their sleeve that we don't know about.
That'd be insane.
But all in all, it's just always a great experience. This is my third time at Mid-Ohio, Gracie's second time at Mid-Ohio, and always have such a great time.
Yeah. A+ hot dogs.
A+ hot dogs, yeah. I loved the lemonade.
So, if you happen to watch our TikTok review, I was like, yeah, I like the lemonade. I think mine didn't have enough lemon. At first, I didn't think it had enough sugar. And then I took another sip, and then I was like, oh, there's not enough lemon in it for me personally. I think I got a bad batch. So I'm going to need to go again.
We'll try it again.
I'm going to have to try it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I loved the lemonade. I have so far collected 3 reusable lemonade cups from there.
3?
Poor planning on my part. Because you take the cup and it's a cheaper refill, and I kept forgetting my cup.
Yes, but that's okay.
But now I have 3 fun lemonade cups.
You win some, we lose some.
Yeah, exactly.
You can use those anywhere too. Honestly, it's a great summertime cup.
I can put some ice water in it.
To the pool.
Ooh, it would be a good pool cup.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Should we get into the weekend?
Should we?
Yeah, let's go for it. So we get to we're gonna talk a little bit about the race. We're gonna talk a little bit about the weekend. We're gonna kind of smush it all together for you all. So we get to the track Friday morning pretty early. Yes. We left at 5 a.m. No, we woke up at 5 a.m.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was like, wait, we woke up at 4?
Left at 6 a.m. It was about a 2.5 to 3 hour drive for us. Yeah. So we got to the track like 9:30, 10.
Yeah.
What did we do when we get there? Checked in. Got our passes.
What did we do that first day?
Yeah.
It's hard because there was like the USF and Indynxt going on, but IndyCar stuff, the first practice didn't start till 4. So I think a lot of times we went to the paddock.
The first day we walked around pretty much most of the day.
Yeah, we didn't sit up chairs.
We didn't sit
That's
anywhere.
why it's a,
Yeah, so we walked around. We went to a lot of the booths there. We stayed near that Java House booth. Those Java House girls, they are so nice. Yeah. Everyone at the Java House booth was nice. And it was truly a staple because not only did you have access to some coffee, some caffeine there, but you also were able to go and try their energy pods, their electrolyte pods. This is the third Indycar event that I've gone to where the Java House booth was set up. The fourth. And every time, it's a hit.
It was my first time having Java House.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I really liked it. I had the vanilla all weekend. The blue electrolyte.
So good.
So good. Mm-hmm. I'm like thinking about, I want to get some.
Yeah, I tried the orange one this week, and I think that flavor is new. Mm-hmm. I really liked the orange. I did like the blue better, though.
Yeah, I'm not an orange gal, so I couldn't participate in that taste test.
Yeah, it was delicious. But we walked around. There were a lot of like booths selling like merch, which I once again had to hold myself back from buying a diecast. Luckily, I did not look too hard, so I didn't have very easy access of seeing the Pietro Fittipaldi diecast. It could have been there if I dug a little bit. I didn't dig because I knew that would have been the straw that broke the camel's back. So I didn't even tempt myself.
Yeah, you were like, it's not there. And I was like, yeah, but it's not here.
It's not there.
I didn't let you look too deep.
Yep. I did get a Midohio hat that was camo.
So cute.
It is my new favorite hat. I'm sorry, I'm going to be wearing it all the time. It's like such a summer hat. I'm like almost sad that like I'm not going to like the lake or like I need to like wear it on like a boat or like like on a river somewhere, like maybe tubing.
Yeah, for sure.
A canoe maybe,
so
at the pool.
We could go to the pool.
We should go to the pool.
We should probably go to the pool, actually.
Yeah, actually, I already checked the weather this weekend to ask if you wanted to go to the pool, and it's supposed to rain all weekend, so.
Bummer City.
City. But yeah, I got a new hat. You got a new hat as well?
I did. I like it. Can I be honest? I regret it a little. Mm-hmm. I wanted, I have a Honda hat from last year.
You do?
Yeah. Lexi won it from Trevor gave it to her as a consolation prize from the Midohio trivia, and then she got it signed by Dave, and then she gave it to me because we had helped her get the 2-seater.
The way I don't remember seeing this hat ever.
I don't think you were there when she gave it to me because you were.
But like I don't think I've ever seen it at your apartment. I don't know if have you ever worn it or.
I wear it sometimes, not a lot.
Oh my gosh!
So it's just like a.
I thought I knew every piece of your wardrobe.
Wow! Yeah.
Wow.
But I was like, I need an Indycar specific hat, and I went in. The pink one is really cute. I didn't try it on before because, like, I don't know, you're not gonna try on a hat,
right?
Yeah,
it was sweaty.
Yeah, and I'm not obsessed with the way it looks on me. It's literally fine, but then part of me is like, okay, I wish I wouldn't have. I only wore it one day. Sorry, guys, I'm getting ahead of myself. There was such a cute sweatshirt in there, Indycar sweatshirt.
Yeah,
part of me was like, I wish I wouldn't have gotten the hat and just got the sweatshirt. But you live and you learn.
Maybe in Nashville.
Yeah, maybe in Nashville.
Because it was at the other ones too, so it'll be in Nashville, I'm sure. I would love an HRC hat.
Yeah,
I should invest in getting one of those, a Honda hat. I love Honda. I'm a Honda girl.
Oh yeah.
So I think I need to purchase an HRC hat. That's something for the future.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, enough about us.
Yeah, enough about us. So Friday we had the USF races. Indynxt was there as well, participating. And Friday, pretty much like I said, we walked around. We went to the paddock. We walked around and got some Jersey Mikes.
You guys, Midohio had Jersey Mikes there. I think that's something they're doing at all IndyCar races. Because I posted it on Threads and someone responded to it. I forget who. I'm so sorry. It was Dana. Dana said, "Oh my god, that was my exact feeling when I saw them at St. Pete."
Interesting. I don't think they're going to all. I did not see Jersey Mikes at Sanzio.
Interesting.
They weren't at Carb Day, but maybe I missed them. But they do sponsor an Indynxt driver, I believe. I believe it's either Indynxt or it was one of the USF drivers, but they do sponsor a driver. Maybe it's like Mike's family member.
And I'm sorry, that's going to have to be one of my new favorite drivers.
I'll look into it. They had his autograph like sheets on the Jersey Mike stand, and I almost pointed it out to you, but then you all were having your way with that sandwich.
I had to Mike's way it myself.
Yeah, they gave you the tools to Mike's way it, but they didn't Mike's way it themselves. You oh my god, I'm getting overwhelmed. Mike's weighed it yourself.
Yeah, you made it Mike's way yourself. That was like fun. I love Jersey Mike's famously.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Friday was fun. We ended up going to dinner afterwards at Cracker Barrel.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Delicious. And then we got home and we had a pretty early night. We woke up at 5 a.m. We were exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday we wake up bright and early. We get some coffee. Did we get we did not get coffee. We got breakfast on the way to the track.
Yeah. And
then it was qualifying day.
Yeah, it was qualifying. So Indynxt qualifying too.
Yes, Indynxt qualifying day. We and USF also had their races. Yes. So we set up shop. We set up chairs. We set up chairs with the Outside Line Media guys. It was us, the Outside Line Media guys, and Marley. Mm-hmm. We found a really good spot over in Turn 4. Turn 4 had all of the drama. Like, it was constant. Yeah. It's constant drama going on. Mm-hmm. And I would say Saturday was... I like having like chairs set up and having like a home base. Mm-hmm. It's fun walking around, but it's always nice having like a place where you can like leave like your cooler or your backpack, and you don't have to like lug it all around, and you can kind of all take turns, and it's just like a fun little meeting spot. But I will say that the fans, which is a good thing, but the fans compared from last year to this year, there were so many more people. I'd love to know what the difference is and how many fans were there from last year to this year. It felt like there were a lot more people there. Yeah, it for sure did. I don't know what I was gonna say. Okay. Who got pole?
Well, Mr. Alex Pillow.
Alex Pillow got pole.
Actually, that's what I was gonna say. Especially Friday during practice, but a little bit during qualifying, such low grip. People were sliding off, going into the gravel like crazy.
They were slip sliding everywhere. Yeah, so at Midohio, they updated Turn 4, and they basically did it because of safety. Mm-hmm. But because of the update to Turn 4, it almost had like a bit of a bump on one of the like corners that caused a lot of people to hit that bump and then slide off into the gravel. Yeah. So while it made it safer, it still made it like dicier, I guess. Yeah. Like people weren't hitting the wall from it, but they were sliding into the gravel. Yeah. So that was something that a lot of the drivers had to navigate, and it was new to them. It was new from last year. So it was a little bit different. They were trying to figure that out. We didn't see as much drama there during the race as we did during the qualifying practice sessions. Mm-hmm. So I think they kind of learned their lessons through that. But we saw a lot of people sliding off there.
It was also just so hot.
It was so hot all weekend. Like, thank goodness there was no rain.
Yeah.
But it was, I honestly probably could have done with some rain, with some sprinkle, because of how hot it was.
Yeah.
But it would have been a hot rain.
I know, that's what I was just going to say.
We tried the hot dogs on Saturday.
Oh, we did.
Delicious. We have our hot dog review up. Go check it out. We also, on Friday, we also filmed a Podium pop-up episode with McKenna. Mm-hmm. McKenna Kleiser. She is a director of sales for a sports optometrist that works with a lot of the Indycar teams. Mm-hmm. So we got to talk to her a little bit about how she got into motorsport and how she got the position that she's in now and what she loves about Indycar. It was a really great episode, so make sure you go check that out. Also, it's posted on our TikTok and our Instagram. She is one of our favorite people ever. We have been friends with her since last year. We found her content, and we got to meet her in Nashville. I think we met her for the first time.
Oh yeah.
But ever since then, we've always really enjoyed her content and supported her. So it was good to have her on the Podium pop-up. Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, Alex Pillow got pole. Yeah. Not shocking to anyone. Who got pole for Indynxt? Dennis. Yeah, Dennis got pole for Indynxt. Again, not shocking. Side note, do you think Dennis Hauger's going to have an IndyCar seat next year?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, Damn shame.
Damn shame.
It's going to be interesting to see how kind of things shake out. I feel like IndyCar seats, we don't really get it. It's not like Formula One, like it happens during the season. Like everything pretty much shakes out for the most part after Nashville. And it always kind of happens sporadically.
Unless you're Aaron McLaren.
Unless you're Aaron McLaren. Yeah, that's true. Which I'm interested to see what Aaron McLaren does, because everyone's saying that Nolan is kind of in danger with his seat, although he did fantastic this weekend.
Nolan had his highest place qualifying finish.
A lot of people were doubting Kif. He did fantastic.
Kevin Simpson qualified P2.
Yep. And I'm trying to think who else. Yeah, those are the two like kind of shockers, I guess. But with the seats, I mean, like Dale Coyne, we won't know until like right before the season starts.
They'll tell you a week before.
It took us a while to get an answer from RLL last year. Mm-hmm. Everyone is wondering if Louis Foster is going to stay with RLL, or if maybe one of the bigger teams is going to pull him up.
Yeah, who knows?
A lot to think about.
I think speaking of Kif too, a lot when at the press conference they asked both Saturday and Sunday, they asked Alex and Scott, like, you know, how are we seeing this? Are we finally like getting to see like the Kiffin that like gave you guys and like Chip Ganassi the confidence? Thank you. And then both of them were so supportive of Kiffin. Yeah. Like I loved it.
It truly was. Yeah. So we got to attend the press conference, and like it was so interesting hearing from Mike. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but hearing from Mike Cole on race day after the race, and then also from Scott Dixon, and then Alex Palou from the qualifying press conference. All of them, like everyone was asking questions like, is this like the potential that Kiffin had the whole time? How are you feeling about Kiffin showing this? Like, how are you feeling about this? And they're like, no, we've always known that he was capable of this. They're always pushing like, we're all one team. Like, while we all want to win, we still all want for each other to do good. They talked about how they had a barbecue. Yeah. They talked about how they were going for a 1-2-3, which would have been really cool.
That would have been so cool.
And there was potential to have a 1-2-3 for that race. And, you know, Kiffin had some issues with his car at one of the points that potentially could have put him up near the top if he didn't run into that issue. But I don't know. Chip Ganassi kind of swayed me this weekend. CGR swayed me. Like, I've never disliked CGR other than the fact that I'm like, oh, they're always winning. But like, also, I've never loved them. I never hated them. Yeah. I've always kind of been indifferent.
I went into watching IndyCar as a Marcus Armstrong fan, so I was always like, CGR, I'll root for them.
Right.
But no, I for sure was swayed.
I was swayed this weekend. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I still want to see more people other than CGR and Andretti win this year. Mm-hmm. I want to see more variety, but I was just like, oh my God, they're all so nice and genuine. Yeah. It was great. It was great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sorry to get ahead of ourselves, but I thought it was very nice. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the race.
Perfect.
Actually, sorry. Can we talk about Indynxt first? Because that was a scary, scary crash.
Yes. Okay, yeah. So on Sunday, during the Indynxt race, we had a very terrifying crash. It actually happened on the back straight. Yeah. Right before turn 4, actually, but farther down the straight. And it was, do you know who it was? Yeah. It was a super scary crash, and it happened, almost actually took out one of the marshals, I believe, because they hit the wall and then like almost scraped against the wall into where the like observation tower is, where marshals and people were in. But it's always scary to see a crash like this, but especially, well, one, in person, but two, for it to happen in a support series is always scary, because some of these kids are so young. I don't know particularly how old these two were, but they both got out of the car pretty quickly. One of them, they both went to medical. One of them was struggling a little bit to kind of walk on his own. He had to bend over a little bit. But it is truly lucky that they both hopped out so quickly. But it was such a scary moment.
Yeah, it was terrifying. The wreck was between Ricardo Escato and Sebastian Murray.
Yes.
And then there was a red flag out for like almost 40 minutes.
Yeah, it happened
at the very beginning.
Right at the very beginning of it. And then it took a while because the part of the track they hit, it wasn't like safety barrier. It was like like the metal siding,
Mm-hmm.
which one is scary on its own, but two, they had to like literally bring in like a welder to like fix the barrier before they could put the race back on.
Yeah.
And sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, and Dennis Hauger.
Well, yeah, Dennis Hauger.
Kyle Collette was in second, and then who was in third? Lockie Hughes.
we knew that.
Yeah, I know. Lockie Hughes got third. Andretti's junior, or not junior, but yeah, Andretti's Indynxt team is so fantastic.
So good.
That they're just a powerhouse. They were like that last year too.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
They
know what they're doing.
They truly do.
Yeah, truly.
So, Indynxt race was great. We got to see the podium for the Indynxt race, and it was actually, I want to say, my third Indynxt podium. Normally we don't go to them. We normally just go to the Indycar podiums, but it was always fun. Again, it's so funny because you're sitting there watching, you're like, is he old enough to drink that champagne?
I know.
Like, they're so, some of them are truly so young.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. But yeah, so we will get to the IndyCar race now.
Mm-hmm.
So, lap one. Joseph Newgarden's bad luck continues.
And to quote the commentators, I laughed out loud when they said that. I couldn't help it. It does, though. It's so... I cannot imagine how unbelievably frustrating this is.
He's got to be frustrated. Joseph Newgarden has been catching some...
strays.
I wouldn't call them strays because they're
strays.
Some slack lately because he has not been super open to talking about his misfortune and talking about, hey, this is going on. Like, everybody else answers the questions. He's been kind of pushing them off, not quite answering the questions, which has been kind of frustrating to a lot of the journalists, frustrating to a lot of the fans asking for answers.
For sure.
But all of Penske has just been, it's not been their year. And for, us to see them really competitive last year, multiple years lately, compared to where they are now. And it's not just IndyCar, it's kind of across the board. And you can say it all, I don't know what it is. It's truly, a lot of them are like standalone situations that just so happens to be happening to the same team and the same drivers over and over and over again. But I'm sure it does not help that half their head people on their team got fired after the whole Indy 500 situation, which was probably needed. It's business at the end of the day, but I think that right now Penske is kind of looking at the season as a wash and focusing on surviving and getting through to next year. At least if I was on Team Penske, that's what I would be doing. I say across the board, they're actually doing fantastic in IMSA. Sorry to the IMSA team. You all are doing great. Keep it up. Or not. But, the IndyCar team is not doing too hot this year. So Joseph Newgarden has a crash in lap one. He basically just loses the rear. He spins off, but he takes Graham Rahal with him. Graham is able to get back into the race. That also, with all of the chaos happening, it also causes Callum Ilott to go off the track. He does regain the position, or not regain the position, but he does regain into the track, but he loses some positions from it and probably messes up a bit of his tires from it as well. But Joseph Newgarden is out after that. Not pretty.
No, not pretty.
Yeah, we see an early battle between Kiffin and Christian for P2 early in the race. Kiffin does really good. They do a lot of good maneuvering. They race each other really well, safely.
Very well.
Which, again, just proves that they're both young guys. They're both young in their careers, but they are people to keep you need to keep your eye on them. But eventually Christian does get the lead for into P2.
He had a great weekend.
He did.
What next shall we talk about?
Willpower catches on fire.
Willpower does catch on fire.
Again, Penske. Enough said. Somebody, I really do like I saw someone, I think it was on TikTok, someone's like, what Etsy witch? Like, who paid an Etsy witch to curse Penske?
Yeah, literally.
Speak up. Fess up.
Yeah, you gotta.
Mm-hmm.
We want to know.
We also see some smoke come out of Christian Rasmussen's car. He has to pull over. We're hearing it's because he ran out of fuel. So he is unfortunately out of the race as well.
Did you see his TikTok video?
Yeah, I did see his TikTok video.
He said, I pulled a Rossi.
I love Christian Rasmussen because It's partially him. He is truly just a funny guy, but also partially he has a great social media team.
Absolutely.
Jordan, who's on TikTok, works with him, and they have a great partnership. But I truly think that she has done a lot of good for him. She's put him kind of like really there's so many more Christian Rasmussen fans this year compared to last year's. But it also is just him. Like, he's just a likable guy. Sure, nobody wants to see Christian Rasmussen do bad.
No.
Name one person. And then if they say they do want to see him do bad, ask them how they feel about kittens and rainbows, because they probably hate those too.
Yes, they probably do.
So yeah, Christian is unfortunately out of the race. It caused a pretty long caution, which is good for Scott. Not good for almost everyone else, though. In lap 39, Kiffin loses quite a bit of places. Marcus Armstrong overtakes him. And then we also see a couple laps later, Ferrucci run Conor Daly off the track.
And what was that?
What was that? If I had to see two people duke it out, I would like to see not Christian. Leave Christian alone. Leave him out of this. Both of them, actually. Leave both Christians out of it.
Yes, please.
It would be funny to see Ferrucci and Conor Daly kind of go at it.
I think that
personal opinion.
That would solve their issues.
I think it would solve their issues.
Let them duke it out in a safe environment, proper
controlled,
and I think they could be okay.
I think it'd be okay.
Yeah,
it'd be fine.
Place your bets.
I actually don't know who I would bet on. Yes, I do. Conor Daly.
Connor's got the...
He's got the beef.
Yeah, he's got the beef.
We called him Stonky the other day.
Yeah, we did.
He's got the stonk. Compliment.
Oh, yeah. Slash positive.
Yep. Lap 53, we start seeing kind of the back and forth between Scott Dixon and Alex Palou. Alex Palou made a couple of mistakes this race.
Yeah.
In lap 54, he went off just a little bit, but it was enough for Scott Dixon to pull ahead of him. They all go into pit stops. At this point in the race, Kiffin, as he's pulling, or as he's trying to pull out of his pit stop, which he is right near Scott and Alex. They're all kind of bunched up together. His car stalls. He eventually gets it going, and then his back tires kind of swing out a little bit as he's pulling out, and he runs over the toes of Rinus VK's back tire changer. Ouch.
Yeah.
And he was, like, the tire changer did not seem hurt by it. He was
Did
like,
his job, finished it up.
He finished it, stood up, and was like, da-da-da-da-da. Like, he started going after the team. And I was like, check your toes. Are you okay? Like, the adrenaline, definitely helped him out.
Sure.
I'm sure he was fine. It was, it could have been a lot worse if it was, maybe a couple inches further. He probably could have had, 2 broken feet from it. But luckily he was okay from it. But scary moment. And the stalling of Kiffin's car definitely lost him some places in the race because everyone was pitting at once. So that is probably very disappointing to Kiff, who's had a fantastic weekend up to this point. I'm sure he's quite frustrated from that.
Yes.
With about 18 laps to go, Alex is back in front of Scott. Not for long. Lap 76, Colton has a very slow pit stop and is visibly frustrated after they pull out. There's a video of him basically slamming his hand down on the steering wheel as he's pulling away, and it's just Colton.
Let's kind of get with these pit stops.
Colton and his pit stop team, they need to I think maybe go on a retreat together,
or a wellness retreat,
a couples retreat, and all maybe talk about their feelings and figure out what's going on, because there's something just not meshing there.
Yeah, the synergy
is off.
It's really off.
So Colton probably lost quite a few places from that pit stop as well. Who knows where Colton would have ended up? Who knows where Kiff would have ended up?
I think he only ended up losing 1
from it.
I'm remembering correctly. Yeah.
It's a shame. Because he also has had a fantastic weekend. It is lap 84, right near the end of the race, when Christian Lundgaard, Scott Dixon, and Alex Palou are all kind of near each other. Scott passes Alex when he once again makes a mistake, goes off track.
Mm-hmm.
And we see Scott Dixon be the third winner of the year at Midohio.
We do. And famously, when this comes out, we did an episode with the Outside Line Media guys, and they said, give us a prediction. This was on Saturday. They said, give us a prediction for the race tomorrow. And I said, I think we will see a new race winner that is not Alex Palou or Kyle Kirkwood. I did say it was going to be Christian Lundgaard. Fine. I was wrong.
You can't win them all.
You can't win them all. But I was right.
You were right.
Yeah, I was right.
I predicted a Kiffin podium. I was wrong.
That's all right.
Disappointing. But yeah, it was a fantastic race. I was excited to see a Scott Dixon win.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's our first Scott Dixon win. We've seen plenty of Alex Palou wins. We wanted a new winner.
Mm-hmm.
And we got one.
You did.
So I'm happy with that.
That's great. Also, so much of his family was there. It was really sweet. They ran into the pits at the end.
It was really cute.
Absolutely loved it.
All in all, fantastic race weekend. Again, it was really cool getting to attend the press conferences, getting to kind of hear. I was talking to Marley, which if you don't follow her, make sure you go follow Motorsport Marley. If you go check out her Instagram story, if it's been a short enough time, she posted an article that she wrote about the race, and I was talking to her about it as she was editing it last night, and she was talking. I was like, it's so interesting because I've read her articles before, I've read other people's articles before, but this is the first time that we were in the press conference, getting to hear the interaction. I was like, so this is how the cookie is made.
This is how the sausage gets made.
I found out how the sausage gets made, and it was really cool, reading her article, being how she was able to connect what was said in the press conference to connect to what article she was writing about. Yeah. And throughout the race. It was just really interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Anything else to add about Midohio?
Great experience.
Great experience. Always. Not shocked, but still pleasantly surprised. And I can't wait to go back next year.
I'm so excited.
We'll be there. Midohio, you can't get rid of us.
If we're not at Midohio, check on us.
Yeah, if you don't see us at Midohio Indycar, call someone. Call our emergency contact. Unfortunately, Gracie's my emergency contact for most things. So call her emergency contact for both of us.
That's my mom and dad.
Your mom will check on me as well.
Yeah, no, my mom will check on you. If you can't get a hold of my parents, just shoot Marley a DM.
Yeah, reach out to Marley. For sure. Marley's with us.
Well, if all three of us aren't there, then call the authorities.
Yep. Should we get into Silverstone?
Yeah, let's get into Silverstone.
Okay, we're gonna I can't talk. Mainly go over the race. We're not gonna go too far into practice or qualifying. We watched the race and qualifying from the track with very spotty service.
There was such good service there last year because I had no issues watching Silverstone.
Yeah,
and I was in
we both watched spot. It. Mm-hmm. Yeah, struggled this year. I think it's because more people were there.
Sorry, I'm trying to adjust the way I'm sitting. I just bumped into everything.
Are you okay now?
No.
You want to fix it?
No.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna just mainly go over the race. So if you actually did watch the whole race.
Yeah, I rewatched it.
I just rewatched the highlights.
Quick on qualifying. Max got pole, Oscar got second, Lando got third, and there was kind of chances of rain Saturday and Sunday. I believe the rain ended up holding off on Saturday, if I'm right, but it's the same thing from Australia. The teams had to figure out how they were going to configure their car for qualifying, because once you configure it, you can't change it, and it was really going to set it up for a potential rain race and a dry quali, or just dry quali and then have it go through whatever. Most teams chose to do the, kind of dry setup, low downforce, and McLaren went for the opposite. And then everybody was like, hey, what? And then, of course, people were playing Weatherman. And anyway, it ended up working out fine for us.
We were fine.
Yeah, we were fine. But
I was still scared, but we were fine.
Well, yes, of course I'm going to be scared. Going into the race, it had rained before, so the track was wet. I don't believe at race start it was raining. But they still needed the inters to start the race for the most part. Formation lap came, and as the formation lap was going on, the commentators were like, hey, some of these people in the back should roll the dice, go in, put on slicks, and start the race from the pit lane. And quite a few people did that. Mm-hmm. George and Charles were some of the biggest names that did that. Biggest names that kind of sounded mean. George and
the
Charles,
ones that are further up.
Yeah, further up. Thank you.
Some of the guys that were taking a bigger risk because they were further up in the grid.
And famously, the commentators on F1 TV were like, Lance and Nico should pull in to do that. Good thing they did. Anyway, so they went and put on slicks. Not a good idea. The track was still pretty wet, especially like towards the end. And so the race started, and the top three remained the same. Max kept the lead from Oscar.
Mhm.
Oscar got pretty close to him. Once again, it's like a little wet, so they're figuring it out. This was caution city galore.
A lot of caution. Whether it was
like,
crashes or whether it was rain.
Race stop, race start, someone hit the wall, rain, caution.
Yep. In the first lap, we see Esteban and Liam have contact.
Mhm.
It takes Liam out of the race. Esteban continues on for now.
Well,
but that caused, a caution. In lap 4, we also see Gabby spin. He gets back out there, but he does spin, which is interesting. He was having a lot of trouble with his Sauber this weekend.
Slicks on too. That's what caused him to spin as well. Mm-hmm. He hit the wall and was able to drive out of the gravel with some damage, but then he couldn't make it back to the pits. So. Yeah.
Poor Gabby.
Poor Gabby.
It didn't pay off going onto the slicks.
No, it did not. Not at that point. We also see Max have some issues with his car once they got into the wet weather.
Yeah, he was sliding around quite a bit. It caused lap 8 Oscar being able to overtake Max pretty easily when Max went wide on a corner. And we see that happen quite a bit throughout the race.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot of lessons were learned from Brazil 24. And while it was raining in this heavy, as they were saying, biblical.
They did keep saying biblical downpour.
As this heavy rain came in, it's basically like run the risk and drive until a red flag or a safety car comes out, and it's either going to be you that causes it or you're going to benefit from this, because as we saw, in 24, Lando pit right before the red flag, and then Max, Esteban, and Pierre ended up, being able to change their tires and blah, 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 blah. So that's, I think, what everybody was doing. Yeah.
So yeah, quite a bit of heavy rain. The pit stops start happening. Lando has a really slow pit stop. Charles is going off. There's a safety car for the rain, all in like in a couple laps.
Yeah, it's
right
crazy.
Around like lap 11 to lap 14.
Yeah.
After the safety car goes back to green, in lap 18, Lewis does overtake 2 places pretty quickly. He gets past, and then I forget who passes him. Do you remember? I want to say
Gasly?
I think it was Gasly.
I think so.
Gasly passes him, but then whenever Gasly's battling a car ahead, which again, I forget who it was, Lewis overtakes both of them. During this safety car restart also, we see Isaac rear end Kimi, which causes another safety car.
That was a scary
It was a really safety crash. Yeah, so...
Really safety crash?
It was not a safety crash.
It was not a safety crash.
It was a really scary crash.
Yeah.
Because it showed the onboard for Isaac, and you literally could see nothing.
No, you could not see a thing, especially like A, the rain, and B, the spray from the cars. You crazy. Mm-hmm. At one point they were trying, I think it was George's onboard, and his camera, they were, doing the lens thing to try and clear it.
Yeah.
It just kept circling through like rain and like dirt and stuff, and I was like, all right, you all can stop. We're not going to see anything.
Just take the L on this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Charles even talks about how during the rain it was so much heavy rain that like a gush of water came into his helmet.
That's crazy.
And like that guy's gonna drown again.
There is water in the seat.
Yeah, I think it's the water.
Yeah.
As the second safety car is ending, we see a situation with Oscar, because Oscar is leading. Mm-hmm. He brakes. Later down the line, we see that he gets a 10-second penalty.
Yes. So what Oscar is saying happened is he basically brakes as the safety car lights go out. And like once the safety car lights go out, that's signaling the safety car is going in, and then the race leader now has control of the race start. Mm-hmm. And Oscar said he was braking at the same time the lights went out, so he didn't think he had that control of the race yet. He was just slowing down to then take over the control. Mm-hmm. But Oscar got a 10-second penalty because of that.
Oscar got a 10-second penalty. I love Oscar.
I love Oscar.
He deserved that penalty.
Yeah, because you can see it go all the way back to like Lance and Nico. Nico goes off into the grass a little bit. Max literally has to brake so hard he zooms past him. And as the commentator said, it was enough for the position to change. Max fully it went into first, and then Oscar took it back over. I do think it was poor timing. It just was bad coincidence, but I mean, he's learned his lesson.
I think the issue stems from the fact that when George did it, he didn't get a penalty for it. He didn't, right?
No.
And that showed all of the drivers, hey, the FIA is not going to give you a penalty for this, which then caused an issue where I think Oscar braked more than George did. He's definitely slowed down quite a bit more.
It went from like 200 kph to like
50. Yeah, so I think it's a slippery slope, and I think that if the FIA would have addressed it immediately with the George and Max situation, we wouldn't be seeing it again here, where the more that they think they can get away with, the more that they're going to push, and the more dangerous it gets.
Yeah.
So while I think the penalty was deserved, I think that George also should have got the penalty. I don't know if the full 10 seconds should have been had, but he definitely learned his lesson. Other people learned the lesson.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's Oscar. Oscar is the one that they decided to start enforcing it at. I think, and sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, and I don't think the conversation needs to be had against like driver versus driver. It needs to be had about the FAA not being consistent with their penalties.
Yes.
And I do agree that the situation, and they try not to do it situational based, but I agree with the fact that the rain made it a lot more dangerous to be braking that much.
Yeah.
I don't know how you go about that, to be honest, because obviously it was wet and slippery, and it didn't, but it could have caused a lot more issues. Goodness.
Yes. Yeah. So on the actual restart of it, Max does not get a good restart. No. He slides off, plummets down. He's over down with Williams.
Yeah, he's fine with. He was a Williams sandwich.
Yeah, he was. And then it was the McLarens up at the front.
Yeah.
Whenever Oscar serves his penalty, he obviously is behind Lando. So now it's Lando in first, Oscar in second. And
Oscar didn't come that far up behind him. At the very beginning, it was like close to 4 seconds. Go ahead. Sorry.
So whenever the penalty was served, now Oscar is behind Lando. They are still so far ahead of everyone else that it's truly a battle between the two McLarens. And with the pit stop, Oscar still comes out only 5.8 seconds behind Lando after he serves the penalty. So there was still a gap where he could have caught up, he could have raced. Oscar asked for team orders. People are mad at asking for team orders. He even says in the press conference afterwards, they were like, do you think that Lando should have swapped? He said, well, it wouldn't have been fair. Lando did nothing wrong, but I'm going to ask. Why would he not ask? He's trying to win. He's trying to win, and who knows? Maybe McLaren's done crazier things.
Crazier things have happened with this team.
So I think, people in the heat of the moment, he's going to say things. He's going to ask for things. He's going to say, that wasn't fair. I didn't deserve that penalty. In his mind, he doesn't. Who knows? Maybe he went home, he watched it. Maybe he saw his errors. He would never admit to it because he's a race car driver and they got big egos, and that's okay. So all in all, though, I think people are like truly crashing out for no reason.
Yeah. You also got to remember here, Lando or Oscar are going to win the championship at the end of the year. They are going to do everything in their power, penalty-wise, driving-wise, to maximize their points. Like there's no way that they can just settle for second. Because if they settle for second, they know that the next race, no matter what, the McLarens are so good that if Lando wins, Lando knows that Oscar's going to be right behind him. If Oscar wins, Oscar knows that Lando's. They're not going to settle for second. They're going to do everything they can to get to first. We are seeing some of the best racing we've ever seen between teammates in a long time, since 2016. So the fact that people are annoyed that they aren't giving team orders, or that they are doing these calls, or they aren't, prioritizing one driver, let them, we're racing, guys. They're not going to, we're going to see who wins, and you know what? I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah, and I think go ahead and just admit you're gonna have a bias towards one or the other.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
That's fine, but just like have a clear mind that like it's not McLaren. McLaren is not sabotaging one or the other to help someone win.
I also think like you're gonna have that bias, but go ahead and flip it. Be like, oh my gosh, if it was the other shoes or whatever, I would want the opposite. And you need to realize that. And like, it's gonna be a long rest of the season if you like the fighting of the fans keep it up. And I know it's never going to stop.
Yeah.
But, like, it's just kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But near the end of the race, we do see Nico overtake Lance. Nico's in P3. He finishes out in P3.
Yeah.
Great race. Scary race. A lot of crazy stuff happens in that race. But we do have Lando get his home race win.
Exciting.
Lando he got his first win in 2024. Mm-hmm. He won Monaco in 2025. He won his home race in 2025. Mm-hmm. Like, he's collected the gems.
He's got the gems.
That's the last, like, piece of the puzzle, and now he just needs the world championship.
I think that's, like, a weight off his shoulders, and I think it's gonna
help him in future races to have, like, that's not hanging over his head. Mm-hmm. So, again, either it's gonna be Lando or Oscar. There's, you know, who wins the championship this year unless something really crazy happens.
Really crazy happens.
It'd be like, it'd have to be insane. But yeah, I think just enjoy the racing. I think we're not going to talk too much about it because it's annoying, but
it's so dumb.
The whole like critiquing and looking deep into who sprays who with champagne on the podium is so silly. So silly. And we saw it even between Lando and Oscar last year. We see it all the time this year. Like, they're like, oh, they sprayed Kimi, but they didn't spray Hulk, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, guys, they just finished racing in the heat for, an hour and a half, 2 hours.
They were getting drenched in rain.
Oscar's
obviously pissed.
They're pissed. And, like, they should be pissed if they didn't win. In Oscar's mind, he is thinking about, hey, Lando is closing the gap to the biggest dream and goal that I've been working towards since I was a child, and Lando is getting closer to me. He's not thinking about how his buddy Nico is getting his first podium. And if he is, great, spray him. He did, by the way. Yes. But also, it's not Oscar's responsibility, and it's not anyone's responsibility. It was nice. It's nice that Max and George was able to spray Kimi for his first podium, and I do think, I'm sure Nico probably wanted a little bit more flair and fun on his podium. But again, I think it's to get hung up on it is a waste of time.
I don't think Nico Hulkenberg is going back home and crying and upset.
Nico Hulkenberg does not care.
He doesn't care.
He's too preoccupied on where Gabby is.
He is crawling home to Gabby Bortoletto.
Yeah, no, Gabby's messaged him on the radio.
Sweet.
Was so cute. He was like,
so sweet.
And then him running over to him. Adorable.
Like him running full speed past Lando.
Why is it that every single one of Nico's teammates fall in love with him? Speaking of Nico's teammates, K-Mag was there supporting him in the Sauber garage. He went to visit the Haas garage, but he was in the Sauber garage during the race, which means that he was there supporting Nico.
No, literally.
And that is adorable.
Cute. Also, just gonna add one thing. Nico was already spraying his thing by the time Lando was even going for his champagne pop that he does at almost every single podium.
Yeah, I think.
Please stop being mad. He went to his team. He's excited. He's celebrating. At the end of the day, they're grown men.
At the end of the day, they're men.
At the end of the day, they're men.
Yeah. I'm super excited to see the rest of the season. Like I said, Lando and Oscar battle is going to be so interesting to watch, especially coming back when summer break comes back. Mm-hmm. It's going to get serious.
I mean, I know it's not for 2 weeks, but we're headed to Spa next too.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, I love Spa. Spa is one of my favorite tracks.
Also, it's
one of my favorite races of the year.
It's so good. A Sauber got a podium.
A Sauber. The Sauber get a podium?
They couldn't get 1 point last year.
Anything's possible,
Sorry,
guys.
They got 1 singular point last year.
1 singular point, thank you. No, anything is possible. And I want to see more first podiums.
Alex Albon can get back on that podium.
Yep. We can see Williams on the podium. I would love to see an RB on the podium. Isaac on the podium. Someone check on me. Check on me that day.
Yeah.
I want to see Isaac on the podium.
That'd be so good.
I'd like to see. I mean, McLaren is so far ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
But I want to see the tight battles for P3, and I want to see the tight battles for second in the Constructors' Cup. Like, it's so interesting. Ferrari is still holding second in the Constructors' Cup, which just proves how good of a lineup Charles and Lewis is. Because when you take the fact that McLaren has such a dominant car out of it, I think that if McLaren didn't have the car they have, it'd be so much closer.
Yeah, for sure.
But it also just proves how great they have two really good drivers, where Mercedes has George, who's a fantastic driver. We still don't know if he's getting a seat next year for Mercedes or not. That's still kind of a question mark, which the fact that they didn't announce anything for Silverstone weekend, kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But, where was I going with this? Oh, George is a fantastic driver. Kimi's great, but he's still learning. We have Max, who's a fantastic driver. Yuki is still learning the Red Bull. I think if McLaren, again, didn't have the dominant car, I think the best lineup on the grid would be Ferrari. Do you agree? As far as experience?
Oh, yeah, experience, absolutely.
But also driving skill. Like, who would you compare them to?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, just,
I don't know.
like, when you, like, both teammates contributing to points.
Like, if they both were in the McLaren?
No, not necessarily, but, like, just both teammates contributing to the points and being equal with each other. I think Ferrari's is the closest as McLaren.
Yeah.
To McLaren.
Yeah.
Like, no other lineup is as...
yeah, absolutely.
As, like, both of them contributing. Like I said, George is contributing a lot. Yuki's not as much.
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
George contributes a lot. Kimi not as much. Max is contributing. Yuki not as much. Kind of across the board.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be an interesting end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of crazy that we're 12 races in. We just officially hit the halfway mark.
It feels like the season just started and now we're halfway over.
Like, why am I already sad?
I'm sad.
I'm also, like, I got a 2-week break and then summer break comes.
Yeah, summer break's always hard.
I guess the only thing we have to look forward to is, well, the IndyCar season's ending earlier. But the IndyCar season took a break because of the Olympics last year.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were with NBC. But we won't really have that kind of big of a break.
That's true.
Yeah.
And now that we follow more motorsport series too, we'll have some other racing to break it up, so that's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
real quick, ended out. Lando closed that gap. They're now 8 points away from each other. Max still has that P3, so his alleged exit clause contract is not taking place yet. The haul of points Nico Hülkenberg got.
No, amazing.
Nico is now at 37 points. That, like, I'm just so excited because also that's, like, well, they're not passing Williams yet, but there's 41 to 59. They could. If things are going the way they're going, they could. I don't know, I'm just so excited because that also means more money for next year. Yeah, more money for next year, more potential for, with Audi coming in too. Yeah.
And I would love to see, Gabby in a car that has more potential.
Too.
Because I think people forget about how great of a driver Gabby is.
They do.
And I think that he hasn't had the chance to show that yet. So.
No, I don't think so. I wish he didn't have those looks at the beginning of the race, but
yeah. That would have been good.
Yeah, to see what he could have done.
Yep. So anything else?
Do champagne pops and problems. Let's first do IndyCar.
IndyCar. Okay, champagne pop.
Champagne pop. What's your champagne pop for IndyCar?
My champagne pop for IndyCar is gonna go to Kif.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was also gonna give it to Kif, but let's go ahead and give it to Nolan.
Okay.
Because he also had his for qualifying. He had his highest start in qualifying.
Agreed. Problem?
Champagne problem.
Joseph, yeah.
Yeah, Joseph.
I'm also going to say Joseph on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Tough break, man.
Yeah, tough.
Formula One, champagne pop?
Well, it's got to go to Nico.
Yeah, Nico. For sure.
Absolutely. Nico
for sure.
Pop. Problem.
I'm going to give mine to Haas.
I'm going to give mine to every rookie but Ollie Behrman. Just the rookies, minus Ollie.
Why not Ollie? Ollie had contact with Esteban.
Ollie was the only rookie that finished.
Oh, well.
So
that's true. I didn't even think about it that way.
The rookies, minus Ollie.
Actually, I think, and he still had contact with his teammates.
Well, yeah, he did. Yeah,
so maybe we just give it to the rookies in general.
Sure, yeah, we can say the rookies.
Rough race for the rookies.
Rough race.
Rough race for the rookies.
That's hard to say.
Rough race for the rookies.
Rough race for the rookies. But that's a tongue twister.
It's a tongue twister.
Wait, before we go, can we talk about that beautiful spin by the Haas?
Yeah.
That was gorgeous.
That was so in sync. Ballerinas.
You couldn't have planned it better if you tried.
So maybe they shouldn't get my champagne problem.
Well,
because of that. I don't know. Anything
weekend.
else? Anything else to add?
Nope. Like I said, 2-week break for Formula One. IndyCar is at Iowa this weekend.
Yes.
A double
race. So race on Saturday at 5:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Race on Sunday at 1:15.
Oh, don't worry, we have it written down.
Yes, 1:15 p.m. on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We also have an IMSA race there in Canada, so they are in Ontario. It is the LMP2s and the GTDs there. And then we also have a WEC race in Brazil this
I'm going
weekend.
to try and tune into that.
I'm also going to try to tune into the WEC race. This is going to be my first WEC race I'm watching other than Le Mans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give it a try. So it starts at 10:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. So a lot of good racing this weekend despite Formula One not racing. So make sure you tune into all of those or one of those or any of those. But enjoy the good racing.
Yeah, good racing coming up.
We will have some recap episodes for you, you next week. We also have a vlog coming out later this week about our time at Midohio Indycar. And we're going to be pushing out some more good content. Again, like Gracie mentioned during the episode, we are on this week's episode of Outside Line Media. That should be posted, if not the day that this goes up, possibly the day after. We'll post about it on social media when we do, but we talk a lot about some of our favorites from our predictions for the Mid-Ohio race, but also some of our favorite series, some of our bucket list tracks to go to. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun.
All right. Well, thanks so much for listening.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.